This is Jeffrey Paul Ross for nextlevelguitar.com. We're working on rockabilly stuff this time, and I'm going to play and talk a little bit about rockabilly rhythm. And for some of you, this might be a little too basic, but we'll just go over it anyway, just in case. And I think it's good to know. There's some things I'd like to mention about it. The basic job of a good rockabilly rhythm player is almost in a way to provide drums, because like, you know, some of the earliest rockabilly, they didn't have drums. You know, some of the early Elvis stuff, you know, Johnny Cash. In fact, Johnny Cash used to take a dollar bill and put it in his strings, and it gave kind of a snare sound. And we'll go over that in a little bit. Now, with the lesson that we did on rockabilly, we were in the key of E. And so what I would like to stress for just good rockabilly rhythm, I wouldn't do a lot of embellishments or bass walk-ups or fills. You know, let the lead electric guitar do that. And I think your job would be to just propel the band and lock in with the acoustic bass. Now, any good rockabilly band will have an acoustic bass player with gut strings and a high action, and he'll know how to slap. And between the upright bass and you playing rhythm will create pretty much what another type of band or another type of music would do with a drum set. So here we go. So once again, this will go hand in hand with the electric rockabilly lesson I did. And so I'll just play a progression with that type of rhythm and that type of groove. Rockabilly is pretty much based on country music and blues. And so there's not a lot of rockabilly tunes that strayed from the 1-4-5 progression, and that's what we'll be using here. We'll just be using E, A, and B7. So, and occasionally there would be like a 6-2-5 or something, but not usually. You know, rockabilly is usually very basic. So now I'm going to stay down in what they call first position. And so here's my E chord, and as I mentioned in the electric lesson, don't let the way I form the E chord throw you, because to some people it looks like a C, but it's actually an E chord. So I'm going to be using this E, I'm going to be using this A7th chord, and a B7. All first position. Yeah, as you'll see, I don't go any further than the 2nd fret. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's discuss the right hand here. I'm going to show you the strum pattern for this rockabilly rhythm here, and if you can hear that, it's kind of a boom chaka boom chaka. When you start and whenever you go to another chord, it's down down, up down. So there's a complete pattern right there. See, it's down down up down, and the first down, I like to kind of concentrate in on the bass note, like. And once again, I'd like to stress, not a lot of moving around. Just that, you know, you can hit that bass note, but you know, I would leave all of that to the lead electric guitar and just concentrating on just driving that rhythm. And you can practice this just staying on one chord, but just getting that. You can just practice this rhythm just by muting the string. That way you don't have to think about this down here. If you're just starting out, this might help you. And just practice going. And then try it with the chord. And this would be a great thing to practice with a metronome. Start off slow. Yeah, so we're going to start with a metronome here. It's set on 110, and just mute the strings. Don't even think about the E chord right now. 2, 3, 4. Now, when you practice with a metronome, just start off slow like we were at 110. Just do it until you're comfortable, and when ultimately what you want to try to achieve is making the sound of the metronome vanish. It'll disappear when you are actually in lock sync with the metronome. All of a sudden you can't hear it anymore. And then when you start to go outside of it, you can hear it again. And I'm not the greatest at it, but it's a great tool to develop coordination as well as speed. Because you got to get your brain to learn it at a slower speed. That way when you kick it up, you won't be sloppy and tripping all over yourself. So we'll start this rhythm at 110 on your metronome, and just practice it. Practice it muting the strings, and then you can move to the chord. And then you can pick it up a little bit. Now see, also I'm embellishing and changing the rhythm. I'm doing little ting-a-ling-a-ling-a kind of things. And see, I'm accenting the volume. And that's things that you can work on later, but for now, just practice. Just getting a good, even rhythm. Then move to the next one. Do 2 bars on each chord, or however you want to do it. And that would be the basis for a good rockabilly rhythm. All right, so this has been Jeffrey Paul Ross for nextlevelguitar.com, reminding you that we do have over 850 examples of various types of guitar lessons, starting with beginners, intermediate, on up through advanced. So we'll see you next time.